Hi, I'm Pantazi. I was asked by one of my YouTube subscribers here, Asan Riza, and he asked about Gankaku. Now, Gankaku is a big subject, so I asked him to tailor it down to one action. Out of that, I'd do a little breakdown on it, and then in the Patreon or Platinum subscriptions, of course, I'll go into the targeting the deeper ramifications. The movement he selected was the movement where the chop comes out, elbow rises, you come back to the clenched position, you come up to the X block type of an idea, and then right prior to the spinning action with the knee rising. Now I'm not going to do the knee, you'll see it in the video here, you'll see the ramifications of it. But these movements, when you open your eyes to the Kyusho and you start applying your tools from your katas and the appropriate tools, not the more modernized tools, from the bubishi, you use the old tools of the bubishi, and you start plugging them onto the targets, the Kyusho targets that Gicho Funakoshi wrote about in his book, Babuni, Ohan Soken, the whole list of names and schools that had used the Kyusho as their base. When you have a target as your base, your kata opens up to you, your martial art opens up to you. You don't have to do kata. You could do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you could do any type of Jiu-Jitsu, you could do Mongolian wrestling, Wing Chun, Tai Chi, Bagua, whatever you want, whatever your style is. When you start thinking not in terms of style or form, but the targets and the tools, okay, then your whole martial art expands. Now, if you're doing a kata, you could take one kata and you could make it a whole curriculum. You could last a whole lifetime on just one kata alone. Even something as simple as san shen, where you're doing the basic movements, can be a whole fighting system for you if you train it properly and you start using Kyusho as the base. So anyway, going into this chopping action, I'm not going to be using it as a block. We could use it as a strike to the side of the neck, the nerves on the side of the neck, the transverse cervical nerve coming across, or other nerves. But I'm going to use it from a clenched position where you're using that hand as maybe you came in on a hand on his chest, the hand on the arm, another stopping position, maybe this braces the head, and then we'll go from there with the short little scenario. Now, where you take it, that's another story, okay? This is in Shotokan, this is in Shito-ryu, this is in Shorin-ryu, this is in Weichi-ryu, Goju-ryu, any Kempo style, any form, any martial art, and it doesn't matter. It's in Western boxing, it's in wrestling, okay? You can apply Kyusho, okay? And you don't have to knock a person out. Kyusho isn't all about knockouts. What it is about tapping into the body's weaknesses on your opponent to get a much more efficient, much more effective, much more powerful dysfunctioning of their body, so you can take advantage of that situation. So I hope you enjoyed this little film. Again, go back into the Patreon, okay, or the Platinum subscriptions, and I'll give you much more in-depth on the targets, the tools, the effects. Okay, I'm answering a question from either Patreon or YouTube. The question was about a movement out of Gankaku. Okay, where the shuto, the chop came out, there's a rising elbow, hands stacked back to the side over here, then you come through with this, and there's even a turn with the knee rising. We're not going to do the knee rising. I just want to take you through the elbow technique, back to the chamber, out to this crossing hand. Now, there's so many different things you can do with this. I'm just going to show you one application and maybe talk about a couple extras, but it's up to you to investigate what targets you want to work with. Now, if you could come in with a strike for a second, okay. This movement, okay, that's okay, but I don't buy this for Kyusho because he's going to hit me, he's going to kick me. I haven't stopped him, I haven't done anything. I'm thinking if we're into a wrestling match in through here, this action is going to be able to push and pull. So if I'm in a clenched position, whether it's inside or outside, I'm going to pull. Now as I pull, I'm going to pull on the nerves here so you can see that the knee-jerk reaction weakens the body, takes the weapons out of the way. Now all I'm doing is I'm putting my finger right into the lesser occipital nerve here, and that tucks out the knees. Okay. Now at that point, as his head turns, the elbow's coming in. Now I don't have to be that accurate with my elbow because my elbow will always find my hand, especially when you're doing your kata daily with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to park that right up under the cheekbone. Now I could park it anywhere on the jaw and get a great effect. I mean, it's an elbow in the face. Okay, but if I push up underneath the facial nerve here, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, you can see that it causes dizziness. Now, if I turn them a little bit more, the neck is a much better target. Okay, coming right in with that, you'll see that weakens the person and can make them very dizzy as well. So that's one idea. Once I've caught him into this maneuver with the elbow, my hand's coming back. Now, as my hands come back to that position, I want to make use of the knuckles. I'll do it on this side. So as I've come in with my elbow strike, wherever I planted that, I'm going to be putting my knuckle right behind the facial nerve root and pulling. You can see how that weakens the person right out. At that point, I'm going to go into the cross, okay, because it came from here, went to the cross. Now, you have to be very careful when you've got the person's neck twisted, okay, and especially if you're going to take the leg out from underneath the person. But if you just do a compression here, okay, you can start to see how the body weakens. If I struck with this, you can see how you dizzy the person as well. So coming through, we went into the clinch, I moved him right into the elbow strike, pulled him right back in, rotated the head, my knuckles right up under the facial nerve, and I've got this compression here. Okay, thank you. It's Cody Robin, by the way, from the Mansfield Dojo. That's Gankaku, okay, it's in Shotokan, it's in Shito-ryu, it's in a number of different arts, and let's face it, the elbow is in a lot of different arts too. Don't look at the style, look at what you can do with the techniques you have.